I've always told myself and other people around me that I was going to give YouTube 100% at some point, and 2019 was the year that I finally did that.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The whole reason this came about is because I have a theory that I can eat unlimited yogurt and oh goddamn, I want some hungry right now. Biggest ears I've ever seen.
I made a video called How to Revise for Your GCSE Examinations.
2 plus 2 is 4 minus 1. Quick maths, fuck that man, I'd rather skip the whole class. Today, we are going to be talking about the worst Owen on YouTube. And it's clear now, up on YouTube, who's the best Owen. This is actually a serious update video. I ain't gassing, it's a blessing when I murder the shit. This ain't passion, it's obsession, better learn the difference. Tom GW. This man, he's cancelled. But first, a bit of backstory. Now, this end of year video is going to be about me and no one else. It's not a year review. This is about my personal experiences, my year, and why 2019 was so significant for me and why it was the best year of my life. So if you don't care about me, click off now. If you're new around here and want to get to know me a bit better, then stick around. And if you already know me, there's a lot of stuff in here that I haven't fully addressed publicly that will be addressed in this video. This video is going to be a lot more talky than normal, and it's probably going to be a lot longer than a standard video, but stick around, it's going to be different. Try and enjoy it. Have a cup of coffee. I've actually got a cup of coffee right here, so I'm going to get my own one out, and let's do this. Welcome to why 2019 was the best year of my life. If you go on my channel right now, you can only see a few, I think it's around 25 to 30 videos. But I've actually been making YouTube videos for 8 or so years. Granted, they were never good, but it doesn't matter, I was still doing it. YouTube has literally always been something that I've just really wanted to do. I've never had any other career path interest me like whatsoever in the slightest, like literally nothing. I absolutely hated school, like genuinely hated it. And I was always asking my mum things like, what's the point in me learning this if I'm not going to use it in the future? That was my mindset all throughout school, and it never really changed. And I kind of always knew that I'd leave school as soon as I was given the opportunity to legally do so. So my mum would always ask me, Owen, what are you going to do with your life? Like, she's got a son here that's not revising, doesn't give a shit about school, and is saying, I'm going to leave school as soon as possible and sort my own life out. But every time she's trying to sort out a job for me to do in the future, I'm like, no, Mum, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. That's not me. And she would say to me, well then what are you gonna do? And I would always look at her and I'd say, Mum, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. And that was not me being cocky at all. I know there's a lot of luck that goes into it, and it's not because I think I'm amazing, because I really don't. But it was just more a case of, this is the only thing that has ever interested me, and it's the only thing that I've ever looked at and gone, that's what I want to do in the future. So it was more a case of, I'm going to keep doing YouTube until I make it, because I wouldn't be happy doing anything else, and that was always my mindset. And if I don't make it, I've failed, and that's how I've always thought, which is probably a toxic mindset, but that's just how it is for me. There's no other option. I remember being in year 9 with like 100 subs, asking my mum if I could pull a morgs, drop out of school, be homeschooled, and focus on YouTube full time. Like, I've just always been obsessed with it. This ain't passion, it's obsession, better learn the difference. And I used to upload videos whilst I was in school, but I was far from consistent. My upload schedule was never a madness. It was always very patchy. In the last 4 years, I've made 5 different videos saying I'm back and I'm going to upload properly and I'm going to be consistent now. And people would always come to me, because I tell everyone in school too, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And they'd come up to me and they'd be like, mate, you don't upload. How are you going to be a YouTuber? You don't upload consistently. How are you going to do it? And I'd say, trust me, there's going to be a point where I upload consistently and I'm just going to keep going. There's going to be a switch and I'm just going to go. And that opportunity and that switch never came to me until the 22nd of April, 2019. Everything kind of sorted itself out. I had a job, I had money, I could buy YouTube equipment, but most importantly, I had no friends. So that meant that all my spare time was on YouTube. I promised myself, this is it. I'm gonna upload once a week, consistently, without fail. And without getting too deep, this was the first time in my life that I was genuinely happy with life. That's a thing that has never happened to me before. So experiencing that as early as April this year immediately was one of the factors as to why this was the best year of my life. I was feeling a way that I'd just never felt before. Everything was amazing. I was uploading weekly, my channel was growing, my actual job was easy. It was too easy, in fact, and I'll touch on that later on. It ended up being a bad thing, but I'll speak more about it later. But anyway, this had been going on for a couple of months. I'm all sorted, and around the beginning of June, I noticed that a certain channel was gaining in subscribers.
Late last night, I was looking at his channel and he was on about 510 subscribers. And I was like, oh my god, he is growing like crazy. I wake up in the morning, he has one more subscriber than me.
So if you've been on my live streams, you've probably heard this story a lot, but I'm going to give the full story of the Mr. Mahmood beef because, let's be real, it's the most significant thing that happened this year. So there I was, sat in work, just chilling, you know, doing what you do. And I was looking at Mr. Mahmood's sub count because obviously summertime, GCSE time, he's uploading revision tips. And I literally clicked on his channel one day and he was on about 400 subs. Click on it the next day, he's on about 520. I was on 536, I believe. So I kept looking at his sub count and he overtook me. He got to 537. And this is when I dropped him a tweet, basically saying, watch yourself, mate. Right? I am the OG. You have no right overtaking me in subs. And I sent him that tweet, to which he replied saying, mate, race to 1K. And at the rate he was growing, I knew for a fact I wasn't winning this sub war, right? I knew that from the off. It's a bit like Tom and Jack right now. Tom's still campaigning. We all know Jack's hitting 10K. I don't even know if I can say that. But anyway, that's how it was. And I knew that he wasn't really going to get involved with the making videos talking about me. But I knew that if I made videos talking about him, that's interesting, all right? That's a kid beefing his maths teacher on YouTube. And as Tom Stockdale once said very wisely on his live streams, YouTube beef isn't real beef, alright? I knew that I would gain subs from beefing Mr. Mahmood. And I also knew Mr. Mahmood would gain subs beefing me because everyone wants to take the side of the innocent maths teacher. That's just how it is. Now, I was quite big on football Twitter at the time, alright? And I still interact with a lot of football Twitter accounts. I like football Twitter. It was a big part of my 2019. And they do have a certain section that is very toxic and likes to rip into anything that they can. And I knew that if I was like, oi, I've got a YouTube channel, that's going to give me attention because people are going to want to take the piss. They're going to come over. They're either going to see it and take the piss, which fair enough, if you want to take the piss out of my channel, go for it. But there was also a high chance that a lot of them will be like, oh, this is decent content, I'm going to stick around. So anyway, I started drumming up interest on football Twitter by leaking pictures of the music video of the Mr. Mahmood track with a Vivo logo in the corner, and that went everywhere on Twitter. I was getting quote retweets left, right, and center of people going, what's this? This is cringy, all of this. I was getting all the abuse in the world, but I knew that when it dropped, it was going to be funny. Because even if they didn't rate the bars, then I'm still getting a lot of views. I'm still getting people coming in. And I also knew that it was low-key fire and some people would be convinced and be like, you know what, this kid, bars, this is jokes. So I dropped the diss track and I was on holiday at the time and I was basically with my family. My phone was dying. There was no charger. And I basically saw the video up until it had been up for about an hour and it had 1K views. My Twitter was blowing up and it was crazy. It was the first time that I felt a little bit famous. Well, not famous, but you know what I mean. I felt like I was slightly relevant for once and it was a good feeling because let's be real, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get out there. And everything was positive as well. If I was getting hated on, I'm not that guy that wants any attention, you know what I mean? I'm not that guy that's like, oh, publicity is good publicity. Like, hate comments aren't great. I've learned to filter them so that I don't get too affected by them. But, like, everything was just positive. Everyone was like, bars, this is fire, blah, blah, blah. And I was just all over Twitter and it was amazing. Anyway, my phone dies. I stay at my family's house for a few more hours, get back to where I was staying at my other great auntie's house and charge my phone, turn it on, and I've gained about 400 subs. I was on about 500 from Mr. Mahmood. I came back and I was on about 800. So that's 300, not 400. Anyway, my subs were gaining. I was genuinely... I was trending on Twitter. My name, my football Twitter account name, was trending on Twitter. That's how big this got on football Twitter. Like, it was unreal. And I think it had about 10k views or something, and I was just... No, it had about 5k views, and I was just in shock at everything that was going on. So a few days after this, the only thing I'm seeing on Twitter is just people talking about me, but a few days go by, and this is when a certain memulus tweeted saying, people send me topics for last month this happened. Now, I am pretty big on Twitter at this point, and I've basically quote retweeted memulus's tweet and said, everyone link the diss track. And I remember just waiting until he uploaded because I was scrolling through the replies on his tweet, and so many of them were me. In the meantime, this is where Calvin and Daniel Banks both made their videos on me. They have turned out to be two of my best friends this year, and I'm thankful for them in my 2019. But they made videos on me purely based off... Well, Calvin saw me in the replies to Memulus's tweet. He was looking in the replies to Memulus's tweet to nab ideas for his video. And Daniel was on football Twitter, so that's where he saw it from. And on the 4th of July, 2019, my life would be changed forever.
Last month I was sent a video called Owen Powell, Mr. Mahmood's diss track. And it's just a kid making a diss track on his teacher.
I just remember being sat in my bedroom and I was on Twitter. I didn't see that Memulus had uploaded, so I was sat on Twitter. I look at my notifications and a tweet came through from my friend Assad, and it literally was a screenshot of me in the Memulus video, and it said something like, congratulations mate, you've made it, or something. And I was like, I genuinely, the feeling I got in my body at that point is unrivaled. Like, I don't actually know how to explain it to you. I was shook. I began sweating. Like, this meant a lot to me because not only is this the exposure that I've been trying to get for the longest time, this was a YouTuber that I love talking about me, but he also had the opportunity to make or break my career. Like, it was on the line here. Like, this was it. If he gave me a bad name, there's a high chance I'm not coming back from it. The first thing I did was run to my mother, and I went, Mum, I was like out of breath, I was panicking. It sounds so stupid because it's literally just clout, and clout isn't that important, but when you're in my shoes and all you want is to be a YouTuber, that involves recognition. And when I'm one of the biggest YouTubers in the UK is talking about you, that's a big moment. I don't want to come across like a clout chaser because I'm really not, but this is just how it felt. So I round up my mum and my brother and we watch it together, and on my other monitor I had my my sub comparison between me and Mr. Mahmood, and mine's going up. Alright, I was on about 900 when he dropped the video. Mine's going up. It's going up pretty quickly. I hit 1k pretty quickly. But Mr. Mahmood's sub count, he was gaining like 1k every minute, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But the thing is, I genuinely was not salty at all. Like, a lot of people, even to this day, I get comments of people going, ha, Mr. Mahmood's got more subs than you. Well done. Congratulations, you know, yes, he got more subs, but my aim was to help both of us, and that's what I did. I don't care if he has more subs than me. So anyway, this was it. This was my moment. I had eyes on me, and I knew I couldn't get too carried away. I knew I also couldn't rinse it too much because I never wanted to be just the maths teacher diss track guy, and I knew this was my opportunity now to put as much effort into my videos as possible in the hopes that people that are around will stick around and watch the content. It's like, you've got your 15 minutes, don't miss it. The first thing I did though was drop a response video on the night that Memulus uploaded, because I knew, again, that's where most people are, and if there was any like stigma on my name or people thought I was a bad person, I wanted to clear up that Mr. Mahmood knew the diss track was coming and he knew it was a joke. I didn't mention it before, but I asked Mr. Mahmood if I could drop the diss track before I did, and he was fine with it. So yeah, I dropped that response and I started turning a lot of heads, a lot of people were interested, and I knew now, make good videos. People are watching. They're not going to stick around for long unless I start dropping some bangers. And this was kind of a good and a bad thing, because obviously this is everything I wanted, but I'm still working. My work hours were 9 till 6, and I'd come home and I'd be working extremely hard on videos to the point where I was losing sleep pretty much every night. My work hours were long, but I spent every single moment in work obsessing over what the next thing I could do was and how I would make my next video, and thinking of just anything I can do to make a video. Like, I was just in the craziest mindset. It was like, now go do it. So I'd then spend the next bit of time trying to make a load of different content so that I could basically have a variety and offer as much as I can to the new eyes on me. And looking back on the videos that I made then, I don't like them. I think that what I make now is a lot better, and I wish I was making what I'm making now back then. I feel like I watch them back and I'm like, these could be so much better. And I did put 100% effort in at the time. Like, I was genuinely losing sleep. I was doing everything I could, working every single minute I had spare on YouTube, but still looking back on them, I'm like, damn, these are trash. I wish I could have made better things at the time and, kept more of the audience. But anyway, naturally, having memulous fans come over, a lot of people wanted to see me make commentary videos. Which, I'm not gonna lie, there was a point in time where I was completely against ever doing commentary. I was like, no, I'm not getting involved with commentary. But realistically, the YouTubers I watch are commentary YouTubers, and my friends are commentary YouTubers. So, on the 26th of August, 2019 was when I dropped my first ever commentary video. Today, we are going to be talking about the worst Owen on YouTube, and no, it's not me. The Owen with a 3 beef was actually a lot more significant for me than it might have seemed, because it allowed me to drop another diss track.
Already finished you, so you better get going. It's clear now, up on YouTube, who's the best Owen? I step toe in the rest, knowing the heads Owen's the best, and you don't want to mess when he gets flowing.
And it was the response from this diss track and how I felt about this diss track that basically gave me the confidence to end up dropping Mentality in the future and consider even making more music. But anyway, at this point, my YouTube life was going amazing. It was so productive. I always had something to do. There was so much going on. But my work life wasn't doing so great. So here is the full explanation of my work situation and what happened with my job. It wasn't a job per se, it was an apprenticeship. And if you don't know how apprenticeships work, is you spend your time working, you're in an office, you get paid for it, but there's another side where you have to be learning, you have to study, and there's exams, and there's a lot going on there. And if you fail the apprenticeship, that's not good. You have to pass the exams, and you have to take the stuff you're learning on your apprenticeship and use it on the job. Now, basically, the reason I loved my job was quite simply because I had no work to do. My work hours were 9 till 6 every single day, but it was a digital marketing apprenticeship, right? And you were supposed to be part of a team, and you were supposed to be working in a group and pushing big projects. But where I was working, and it's nothing against where I was working, I genuinely enjoyed my time there, and I don't blame them for what happened. But I was the only digital marketer there. I was the only person that even had a clue what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm an apprentice. I have no work experience, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. So I genuinely had so many free hours that the reason why I loved my job was because I was essentially sitting at a desk watching YouTube videos and then planning my YouTube videos and getting paid for it. But I could only get away with that for so long because my work were essentially wasting money by paying me, and they knew it. And the apprenticeship side of it were chasing me up because you have to do coursework and hand in stuff as you're working and show evidence as to what you're implementing in your work that you've learned from them, which I obviously couldn't do. So as much as at the start it was all fun and I'm getting free money and I'm doing my YouTube and it's not stressful, it started to become way more stressful than if I'd have just done the apprenticeship properly, because from one side, I'm constantly being chased down about this work. I'm trying to blag it and say that I can do it. And then at the other side, I've got my employer essentially asking me, can you do this and can you do this that's not related to my apprenticeship at all. So I'm doing this work because they're like, you're not doing any social media work, so go into the warehouse and do this. And it got really stressful because it just wasn't manageable. I was in the center of all of this, having to respond to everyone, when in reality, I didn't even know what I was doing myself. And it became very apparent to me that I was on the verge of losing my job. You know, adults aren't stupid. The apprenticeship people were coming in to visit me, and I had to show evidence of what I was doing, and obviously I didn't have any. They kind of realized this isn't right. My employer kind of realized I'm paying you for nothing. And there was one morning where I walked in and he said to me, Owen, do you want to just call this a day and we can just be done and go both ways? And that was like the sign for me that if I don't make a decision soon, I'm gonna lose my job. I'm panicking. I'm gonna lose my job. But also because of you amazing people, I was also earning some money from YouTube, and I sat down with my mum and I was like, Mum, I don't want to get another job, all right? This job's stressing me out. I know going to a different job where I have to do more work is going to stress me out even more. This isn't a good situation. My YouTube's going well, and I want to focus on it. That's all I've ever wanted. I don't want any other job. I'm much happier to have no free money and to be doing what I love doing than I would be working a job and being able to afford to do it and then trying to do YouTube on the side. And because my mother is an absolute angel, she said to me, Owen, mate, if you can pay rent, go for it. If you can afford to give me the amount of rent that we need per month, then that's fine, and you can try and do YouTube full time. So about 2 months ago, or over 2 months ago, was when I made the decision to leave my job. It was like a mutual agreement. So I wasn't fired, but at the same time, I did lose my job because if I didn't decide to leave, then I would have been fired. And since then, I've kind of really been doing whatever I can to improve my skills, branch out as much as possible, do whatever I can to be a full-time YouTuber. And yes, there is a lot of stress that comes with it, you know, financially. It's not the best, but at the same time, I'm living my dream. I'm living what I've always wanted ever since I was young, because technically right now I am a full-time YouTuber, and that is all I've ever wanted, and 2019 has allowed me to live my dream. But that's everything. That is exactly why 2019 was the best year of my life. I am living my dream. I experienced true happiness for the first time in my life, and it was just amazing. And we are taking all of this energy into 2020, and we are becoming the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. And I will see all of you there. Have a good day, and I'll see you later. See you next year. That's a very funny joke to make, haha.